Lesson 1, 2. Right. The problem is, if I run just this test, it works. If I comment this one out and just run this test, it also works. But if I run both, then it hangs. So I'll use this one to run. Without that one, I guess that this one hangs. And the hanging is a bit weird. It's not a deadlock or something. It's, I don't know. Let's investigate. Let's first produce debug output. This is with the debug output. So I turn the debug out off, then I expect it not to hang. So run this, hang, it's long off. Let's see what debug output we have. This debug output is written to here. And we have a notice somewhere. Lots of notices. Returning from entering. What is entering zones? How can we be? It's just entering. Oh, huh? What? Hello, Sam. It just got seriously much worse, weird. What? What is this? The main thread is calling this function. Is this the function that we're talking about? Returning from. Right. AI code. That must be. So the main thread is entering it, and then another thread returns. I didn't even know that was possible. How is it doing that? Well, I can't be good. Nevertheless, then this is not a core dump, by the way. It's just debug output to some channel called core. A bit confusing. Okay, after that we enter the second one. I suppose, because this one is called after the one that one returns. And we return this. Return from that too. Oh, right. And then it hangs in loading debug info. Seriously. Okay, we're done. The program is about to exit, and then it starts to load debug info. Yeah. Well, this is what I mean with weird. And then the idea is that it is probably not doing this or something when we remove the first test. Okay, that was already very revealing. I don't think I need a core output. Let's turn that off and then see if it reproduces anyway. Core is a lot of debug output. So I have in my environment set grep override. I don't know that for my head. This is my override file. That's where I define which debug channels are on. So we turn core off. Let's remember that we have it. And then let's run this thing again, simply the way I did it. I stopped it very quickly, but it just goes on and on and on. And I'm gonna look at it with the debugger. So time enough to attach it. And it's actually doing something. It's just using 100% of a core and doing some decoding stuff. Yeah, weird. Okay, so let's look at the debug output. Let's see, calling, yeah, so the main thread does the first call. And then another thread returns. Or maybe something else went wrong here, because I can hardly imagine that. Maybe the prefix of this thread was not set yet, and then it is set inside this first function. But this is already already the run RPC loop. No. Or I don't know. It does not make any sense whatsoever. Maybe we should start to look in the debugger to see what threads this really are. I can hardly imagine that this is a thread, but I can hardly imagine that that a different thread would return from that function. This should start a thread actually. So is thread started? Yeah, the thread is started. So this is called, then the thread is started. And then that calls this. So weird. Okay, what was I going to do? Now we have the elf utils loading the, and that's just it. It's doing that. It does not return from this, I think. So that's completely at the end of that current function. Would be at the end of this function or the end of the function that is calling this, I suppose. This is not doing anything anymore after that. So it is printing this, returning from, and then we return from this, and then it hangs. That's about it. Okay. So maybe we do something. If we do toTest, then it hangs in the core, which, yeah. And if, say, I would comment out this one, then it doesn't hang. So I'm curious to see that now maybe it doesn't even print the elf utils output at all. Seems the most likely thing. It's definitely not hanging. And no elf utils. Yeah, now it looks normal, you know, that's the same thread. This is normal output. So the main thread calls it, and then that starts a thread. That thread is joined, and then we return. That's what you want to see. And if I run only that one and not this one, then that is also happening, I think. Which in itself is already extremely strange, I must say. Actually, it's not. It's not. So this thing is doing something weird. Now we are... This is weird. I think we're not calling this one now. Or is it not calling this one? Oh, we are calling this one. So this is weird. Can I reproduce this in the debugger? Because just, you know, come on. Debugger. Shall I want to start, say, well, we have just one thread. can just we're still having one thread, right? This is called from the main thread, as it should be. So we do detach TDB here. Caps lock, yeah. Who invented it? Yeah, I don't even need to look at this part now, because even though it doesn't hang, it's still weird that it prints as if it's another thread here. It's just, I want to know what's going on. Hopefully that still happens if we step through it very slowly. There's also a race condition, that would be worse, problematic. Okay, so from this, debugger opens. And now we are here, and this is the main thread, so we should have only one thread. More threads, only one thread. Well, that's the main thread, I guess. Next. And that printed to the file. Can we, well, that printed to the file. Well, maybe still interesting to see if it ended up in the file. No. GDB likes to be on top. Let's go to this directory-ish. And then, well, actually here, keep it output tail if. Yeah, nothing to see here, so yeah. Okay. That works, so it printed it immediately. And then we do, well, let's enter it. Step. Root. Create empty root. I don't know what it does. Just next. Next. File system. Create directories. Context. Workspace. Path. Open session. There's also no threads involved. Oh, is a new thread though. So what thread? What threads? I think that's thread 2 then. Has to be thread 2. Nobody knows what where it is. Something in libc. So we try to see that. Should have loaded debug info maybe. Now we can just go up in the stack. Threads, thread 2. Backtrace. Threads invoke. It's waiting on a condition variable. A worker loop of I think a worker thread has been started and used, and now that this has nothing to do, but it isn't killed. So it's still waiting for, I don't know, until there's something to do again. I don't know about this stuff. provider, fake transport. iStream, OStream. Get the unlocked session. And this is going to create a thread. It should not return from this function in a different thread already. So it should return after it creates a thread, and then it joins with that thread. And then afterwards, the main thread returns, and then we'll do this. And then it returns from this function, going up here. And then I just should print this as if from the main thread. Yes, so it's probably done. I don't know what. If we return from a different thread, that is going to happen inside this loop of function. So let's do a step into it. Can I do finish here? Step. Where are we now? Nobody knows. Step. Inside shared pointer. Again inside shared pointer. What is this? Inside some function. What function? Is it a function that is it should be constructing the arguments, I think, still. Maybe you should just put a breakpoint here. So it takes a bit long. Hit breakpoint. Okay, we're now inside this run RPC loop, which then immediately calls another one. So we can do continue because we should have a breakpoint there as well. And now we are inside a run RPC loop. Really, another one, which again is going to call run RPC loop. So I'm just going to do continue. Now we are inside a thread. In a thread should be called while inside a new thread. I didn't see that printed. Maybe it was already that no, impossible. It should be a new thread. Where did it print that the new thread was started? How the hell did we get here? Oh, what? An RPC loop should already be called from the thread. Oh, I didn't notice that. But it isn't. This is the main loop. So we are calling init thread on the main loop. On the main thread, I mean. Okay, yeah. So this function assumes that if it is being called, it has to be a new thread. But the test suite is not doing that. It's just calling this from the main thread. That's why everything gets confused. And if I call init thread on the main thread, then that is kind of to be expected that libcwd gets completely confused. So I think we found a problem. If I do not call this, then it probably will just work. But of course we have to do this. We have to call this if it is actually a new thread. Okay, back to the drawing board. So that means that I'm just going to kill this one. And it's gone. Good. So if you ignore all the tests, then it's being called here, and here, and here, and here. But the returns are already inside the one. These are also not super interesting. And these are declarations or definitions. YouTube is being a complete idiot again. Yeah. So it's not the returns and it's not tests, it's one of these two. At least normally. 7.3. Oh, there was refactored compared to the previous old code. I would never have assumed this to be the very first function that is being called. No. RPC mode. Things seriously changed. Yeah, well, this calls one or the other. It's a JThread. We have a worker here and another worker. Prompt worker. Right. Standard thread. also used a lot. Oh, no, wait, test. Well, that's third party. Thread ID, deadline thread, and writer. ACP. We used to have something like this. Simple, straightforward. And then writer loop was the other thing. The run, that was run RPC loop. So I just did the thread initialization in that function. I'm sorry I'm going to use an AI because it's 2026. What do I ask it? Let it do the work. Yeah, this is unrelated to what we have here. To do let's use set AI. Yeah. Okay, so the question is, every time a new thread is started, we must call thread must call first thing. by, I meant must begin. No, it's just a line. What am I typing there? And then we can only hope that the AI understood what I meant. Every new thread that is started by begin with such, must begin with such a line. Yeah, it's just one word. Well, I suppose it will guess what I meant. Don't go into libcwd or cwd for that matter. Just call the bloody line every time a new thread is created. It's kind of slightly annoying that it wants to understand what the function is doing. Gets completely lost in on. Yeah, what the hell, man? I think init thread is part of libcwd. Yeah, and I don't give it read access here. Stupid LLM. So now go on. I have enough. I have enough of it. I couldn't read it. There is a make RPC worker. Okay. Oh, that's new. Yeah, that's... Oh, hi, Mr. Kayal. Make RCP worker. Let me see if you can find that. No, it must be RPC. It is RPC. Okay, so remote procedure call, something like that. Yeah, I know, man. And I made it incredibly expensive. All of a sudden, you used to be able to, you know, do something with it for $20 a month. Or maybe I'm just using it more heavily now, I don't know. But sometimes, like, I'm doing something and I just have to do the same thing 100 times. And it's not too trivial. I can't write a script for it. And then I just tell the AI to do it. And it's also very, very good at debugging, actually, or troubleshooting. So if I have some kind of problem, it just doesn't work. And then you ask, you know, what can you find what it is? Very, very often it just finds it. So I'm too old to try to improve myself. So if I can win any time with this, I just ask a question and I reach the point where the code is fixed again faster, then yeah, that's good. I like that. That's why I'm using it. So in this case, I can manually go over the code, find all places where standard J threads or standard threads are started, and then add that code and this line for every place, you know. Or, well, that would take me 1 or 2 hours and then I have to go to bed. Or I can just ask AI and maybe in 5 minutes it's done, right? I mean, and it is done. So, yeah. At least 9 files. So, okay, it did something, and I think we made a jump towards the goal. And I can now just look at what it did. Oh, that's very minimal. Just one file. What about all the other threads? These are changes that I made. This is not even, it didn't edit anything. What? This is just my changes. It did not edit anything, or did it commit it or something? Oh, it didn't edit. Want me to implement it now? Add our debug thread, delete, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I mean, who cares? I asked the question. Who cares about this? What is it? Turn selected free functions into member functions. Well, yeah, just sort of in the middle of that. It's kind of finished-ish. It's a bit unclear. So it seems that, well, it seems I have personal experiences that the GLM 5.2 is now the top open source model. Is really up there. I can use it. It's usable. It just does not make very stupid mistakes. And it feels like it's comparable with GPT 5.5. Definitely, in my eyes, even though apparently it's a little bit worse in benchmarks, but hey, benchmark is just, you know, benchmark tuning. I bet they're all guilty of it, especially non-open sourced models, you know, that have to make lots of money. So it's better to just use it and then see how it works for you. And GLM 5.2 is like, yeah, whoa, you know, not stupid at all. Well, it's completely stupid. It doesn't have no intelligence whatsoever. But in general, it's usable, yeah, for coding. I have the feeling that I'm no longer losing time by trying to use it. I'm actually gaining time these days, yeah. So, but they also charge an incredible amount of money for it. I keep running out of. I have a fixed rate to just pay $16, I think, for this ZAI per month. And you ask one question and you run out of the 5-hour limit, it seems. And then I have another provider which I then switch to, also GLM 5.2. And that one was from humans, and that was unlimited for some reason. Called it a founder account or plan, and they would never delete it. You, as a founder, you are completely secure. Yeah, blah blah. So they just rug pull that under all the founder members with a 1-day notice. Sorry guys, we promised never to delete it. Tomorrow it's gone. Yeah, seriously. So, and now Uman is out because the only thing you can get after that is paying per token. And then the day later, ZAI did the same thing. They have a new plan now, and the only way to get a coding plan these days is by really paying per token. Have an API key, and then let's say a question like this would cost $2, maybe $3, around that. So how often would I use it per day? No, let's say 5 times. I would $10 a day, easy. And then I'm not a heavy user. You pay $200 for a whole year. I'm very hesitant to pay for a whole year because they keep reducing what you get. You pay for something and then you pay the same. You have already paid it, and then they'll lobotomize it, or they quantize it, or they put it on smaller hardware. It gets slower. The context window gets smaller. They do all kinds of things to save money, and over your back. Like ZAI, really, they had a very nice offer. You paid some money and then you got something. What you get now is 10 to 100 times less. And I did it in, 2 months time. Everyone furious, and they still do it. I think they don't really care if people leave because they're just losing money on it anyway. On the long run, they just did this, pumped money into it to get a name and to get users. And if then they find out that they have so many users that they can't serve everyone anymore, I'm not really paying attention what it is doing. But it's an expensive model, and yeah, it takes a long time. So that's why you burn through all your tokens in one question. Oh yeah, sorry, you're talking about Claude. Claude talks a lot. Yeah, don't try to save money by paying a whole year. That's you get like 2 months or something. You pay for 10 and you get 12, but in the end you just lose money always. I have a subscription for a month and then I cancel it again because they change something very horrible. Maybe 2 months. And then I cancel it. There is always a good reason to cancel after 1 or 2 months. That's what I'm saying. So imagine having paid for a whole year for ZAI and they reduce what you get by a factor of 10 to 100. And they don't do refunds. A bunch of criminals. Okay, what is it doing? It's passing, oh, that's not that bad. We have an Ava core make J thread. So we used to have standard thread, which just, in a lot of places, which passes the lambda that, that has to be executed in that thread. So a very minimal change, I have to say, is creating your own function of a core make J thread, and then apart from the lambda also pass a label for that thread. Excellent, excellent job. I should have told it to do that, but I didn't, and it made it up itself. So yeah. And then I could have come up with that, of course, but I would not have been able to do it all those different places that this thread occurs. It's many places probably. To find them all, open the editor, edit it. Horrible. Okay, now it's building and testing, so we can already look at the div. Most notably, I want to know where this RPC thing is done, and it's probably still called run RPC. Run RPC something. Yeah, loop. You think it's called yeah, it's still called it like that. So, oh, where it's commented out. This is an example. Instead, all Java thread creation goes through the helpers in this thread. So there must be a make J thread that clearly says that it is about the RPC loop, but it's not using run RPC loop. I'll try to find it anyway. Scheduler, RPC prompt. And we have RPC mode, that should be the one. We have a compaction and a direct command. I guess using direct command is better than just calling it by the for the function that it sometimes runs, but not every time. So it's going to be called RPC direct command now. Okay. Let's see. All test failing suggests a systematic runtime issue. Uh-oh. We're definitely going to... This is probably the bug that I am working on. So maybe I should just stop it. And just continue looking at it. Or on the other hand, I had a feeling that this was it. Oh, it can't run this because, yeah, sorry. Well, let's just stop it. Escape. Oh, it tries to put it somewhere else. Yeah, well, I think it just works. It doesn't work here because that it can't write a debug output, but debug out is not for the AI. Debug output is like gigabytes, so I don't want it to look at it. Well, I don't look at it. Don't want it to generate it, because that might look at it. And yeah, where's my minus R here? Oh, we still have that. Nah. Fuck it hangs. Shit, still. No, why? Oh, it does not hang. 15.5 seconds. Well, it's still a long time, but... So test, total test. It did fail. Sub-procedure, oh, aborted. It's not good. Yeah. Let's look at the debug output. It's still a long way from home, it feels suddenly. Core dump. Failed to start GDB. Oh, maybe I just quit it too quickly. That's not the problem anyway. Okay, let's remove this from the code. Keep it simple, just one test. Yes, 100% test. It passed. Let's look at the debug output, because that for just this one test, it was really strange. Now we have calling and returning, both in the main thread. Yay, that is solved. So the main thread calls run RPC loop. That then starts a thread called subagent delive. Yeah, it shouldn't make those things that long. I think it's not a good idea. Can I make it shorter? TSX. Subagent delivery manager. Oh, this one. Yeah, so it's shorter, but still too long. How shall we call this one? Yeah, just two characters called cutoff. Shit, how shall I call it? This subad, is that a good abbreviation for subagent? Nah, might as well call it SA then. SA delivery. Yeah, SA is a clearly subagent. Could also make it SA. Which makes me immediately wonder if there are more make J threads that start with subagent, because they have to be changed equally. Subagent. Nothing. Okay, and I want to oops, the test here. Let's do these as well now. And now I bet it works. Ta-da! It works. So yeah, I think the AI did speed this up, definitely. It was still me who found it, the problem, and then I told it to do something. And it's not that bad anymore. It used to fuck everything up, but GLM 5.2, if you say something like, hey, find all the places where threads are started and call this line, and eventually it, for a few dollars it does it. So yeah. Well, it saves me an hour, I think. Did I miss closing parentheses on the last command? But I haven't run into an error. Okay, so the main thread just calls this one and then returning. And then it calls this one and returning, also in the main thread. And the whole thing takes 0.02 seconds. Let's don't need this anymore. Let's just run everything. Have a good feeling about this. I do it in bulk or just half of it, say. Well, everything that is not commented out. And then I'll do the stuff that is commented out as well. This works. I wouldn't know why not. It would be extra nice if it was fast. That's not bad. 2.21 seconds. I think it's especially this one. Let's comment this one out, and I think we have a significant improvement again. Yeah, 0.45. So that one is he's taking probably that much. I'm not going to calculate it. Okay, if I just control, oh, that's, well, no, I'll have to do it like this. Or I could just say remove, well, I'm almost done now anyway. Shit. Less than 20 seconds, please. Worse would be when it is hanging, because then we have to do some kind of binary search again. Yeah, that's not looking good. I don't like this at all, this speed. It is doing something. SA delivery. What was that again? SA? Well, sub-agent, but I don't know if I'll still remember that in a week. But yeah, what are we doing, man? I don't think this is doing much. Is it? What the hell? Okay, well, we can only hope that this is the only one. Please let it be the only one. Otherwise you have to start all over again with the searching which one is slow. Yes! This got back a significant part of my life. Otherwise I would have to, you know, comment everything out one by one and compile and test and all that. But apparently this one is the last one that has a problem, a hanging problem. And if you solve that, then all issues are solved. Do not execute any working test, just this one. See if it still hangs then. Well, that was not the case before. Thank God, this one does still hang. So we just have a problem, one problematic test. Nobody knows what it is doing though. So I'm going to attach it again. Append owned, I mean. It's doing something, seriously. Maybe it will finish after a few minutes. Still append owned. Previously it was calling session run controller append after that. I think it is doing that as well here. Just highlight it. Then for generation, and then we get this one also. Oh, that's different. This one did return still in both. Might be called lot. Let's just add debug output to all of it. So, new top. Yeah, turn call off. Choose notice for the moment. Probably don't want to keep it anyway. Print it all. And then that was called from pin for generation. Again, nothing, of course. Yeah, I don't want to print it all. Not really. Depends how much it is, I suppose. Generation. Maybe you want to see generation. I just print everything. I'm lame. It's sort of an OCD thing, I think. You just have to print everything when it comes to debug output. And then the next one is this one. I'll just look for that. Clip sources. That's hardly interesting. Because it already added debug output here. Let's go one back. Session append owned. Does it make a difference? Probably inlined. Holy cup. It is inlined. Yeah, that's also not super interesting. If this is called and it's not an error, and the append is being called. So, but there's no loop or anything intelligent going on here. Maybe I add it here and then remove it from the other. So the dout entering is using DC notice session append owned single entry. Much easier to follow. And then run controller append. Oh wait, that was it, I think. Yeah, that was it. Oh no, I skipped it. And then it's append. I think this was the one, and then that calls append for generation. So I think, yeah, I just added this. And then now I saw another one append with a debug output, which is kind of strange. This one. It's an append target append. There's this one. There's even deeper. Just remove that as well. And this append owned is called from the test itself already, so that's hardly interesting. Of course, I'm not going to add a, well, it's not actually the test itself. This is the test. This is something defined in that function. Add line 472. Is this lambda? Append v4 text turn. I don't know how often that happens. So let's add a debug here as well. Looks also one-on-one, huh? No loops? Nah, no loops. Maybe 2 calls of it. Call it lambda session, comma index, comma text. I think text is not going to be quoted. Quote is quoted. Did not compile. Do we want to do an tail on the debug output, or should I just run it? This is not the top that I did run it from. Also not. It's being called with long strings. Well, it's not that much. I can just scroll over it. So each of these functions is taking forever then. And that was 44. Calls append owned with an ID 44. Can we have any idea how long that goes on? No, let's do the tail anyway then. It was being run from here, so you can do a tail. Oh no, that doesn't work. Well, prepare it. Tail minus F. Start the thing again. And then show me. It's hard to read, but it says 50, 60, 70, slowing down. 80, oh, that's slowing down, it's really slowing down. 100, inefficient code, because this is getting exponentially slower, it looks like. Well, polynomial will be slower. I think twice as slow, or if 2 times more entries makes it twice as slow. So if this goes on to 1000, then yeah, oops. And it's going to be very, very slow. So while this is running, it would be interesting to know how far this will run up. RPC cup item. Grep sources. RPC cup item. Plus index. Here's index, and what is index then? Index is what is being passed to this. That is a single session, that should only happen once then. And here we have a for loop. 190. Huh? Oh, yeah, indeed. It stopped at 189. But no, it stopped completely. Of course, yes. So this takes 81 seconds because it's slowed down. It's not broken then, but yeah, it's a bit slow. Could try to find out why it is that slow. Have to profile it. Or I can just ask the AI, because it's good at that kind of thing. So now I found the problem, I'll just tell the AI I see this, and then it will probably analyze the code and tell me, probably because they're on there, which is, I think, faster than when I have to look it for it myself, I think. Not 100% sure though, but okay, let's just give it what I have. So, which test was this? The test is this. probably commit this first. It's not that bad. It's not that much. So just do git add -p. Yep. Yes, 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 yes. 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 No. Did I commit that? Oh, yeah, well, wait a minute. This totally has to be removed. So yes, I thought it was debug output, but it's not debug output. It's calling in a thread at the wrong place. So this we do not want to commit. Yes. I just have to look at it. I hate it, but lots of text. I believe it. Yeah, doesn't look super weird. Next. Go init thread label. Okay. Yeah. On the other hand, something is wrong. Before I edit, why does this exist in non-debug code? Why would he even call that then? I think the whole file is well, this whole file should not be included at all, unless it was debug code, which means that this can be moved to source our debug. But then who is calling init thread still? Oh, it's calling it anyway? No, wait a minute. It's being called from here. And here. And here. Async. But. Feels like this is not necessary then. Probably was doing something different and now it goes through this function. Do I have an unused unless debug? Nope, I don't. I do have a debug only, I think. Yes, you do. It's a universal reference, isn't it? It's not R value reference, so we have to forward it anyway. And that forward. Like this anyway. but it is something that might have been past the standard stop token. So there's two possibilities. Probably all not worth it. A few clock cycles. Yeah, I hate it. It is if debug code, without debug code, it shouldn't. It shouldn't be any slower. So I would hate to call init thread when it doesn't do anything. Might as well inline this. No clue how async works. I never use async. I hate async. By pattern matching, I would say we have to replace the lambda with this. And then if it compiles, it would probably work. Right. And then I don't want to have an init thread here at all. So really you could just should move to, well, maybe, I don't know, shall I move it to the Ava debug, or that's maybe, I don't know, maybe a bit too much. Okay, that's seriously strange. I think it's option actually. What did I do? Oh, that's new. No building is hanging. What? I'm always afraid that build dir is empty. But it's maybe only dangerous if you do that. Let's see. Resource echo. I think I'm just having a build debug build here. Yeah. When something strange happens, clear everything. Okay, delete the whole build. I think it was doing this maybe? Nah. What is it doing? I know what it's doing. So I was saying, the function blah 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 calls append on in a loop of size 190. See da da da. I print debug in git diff is that session append owned. And noticed that the calls to that function are being done with larger and larger intervals between them. The conclusion is that session append owned is getting slower and slower the more that was appended. In fact, it gets so slow that I think we can talk about inefficient code. Probably. Can you look at the code and guess where the inefficient algorithm is? I should commit this. So I think yeah, I was editing this, and I have to add it to that commit. And in order to know we can do that, I need to know it compiles. All the configuration is now done. That took a long time. So you do not want to use an undeclared identifier label. Well, is this empty? That's not possible. Well, it's only not empty if this is defined. It is maybe not defined because we are. No, it should be defined as well. So that's weird. Anyways. What's going on, man? Is this not defined? It should be defined if either CWDebug is defined or ndebug is not defined. That's not how it looks here. This demands that this is not defined. So it's like this is defined and ndebug is not defined. That's how it looks like here. If not defined, okay, if the CWDebug is not defined but ndebug is not defined, then define it. So that's this OR case. But if it is defined, then we get an else somewhere. Else, that's not the else. This else belongs to that. Else, is it the else? That belongs to that. No, it's not end. Is this ndef? Is this else? My God. Oh, here. Finally a comment. Else. And then it should define that one, and it is not defining it. Well, I still don't see it anyway. Curious. Just not defining it, man. Oh, okay. Well, the comment says it should be defined. You gotta be kidding me. Well, it's quite normal to do while zero. It's just making it a statement. Do ... you know, for macro. Fuck, is this really missing? No. Still, same problem. It didn't help. Well, in this case, it doesn't know what debug only is. That's a whole different story. It should know that if I include debug.h. Oh, it's not included. Bad AI. Well, maybe not that bad. Actually, that doesn't go here. It goes here. Yeah, I only need it for debug only, or it wasn't needed before. So I think I'm breaking stuff now because I've been using the CW underscore debug to know if assert is being defined or not before. So I probably shouldn't break that. The comment is wrong then. It's really, nah, I don't like this. By the way, assert is of course defined if CW debug is defined. Yeah. We'll have a look in the debug.h file again. It compiles so again, basically assert is defined here together with CW underscore debug to go together. If this is defined, then that is defined. That's what I have been using all the time. And when it is 0, then assert is not defined. So they really go together. If you see assert, you see that one. And if you see assert, you see that one. And then we go for another assert here. Yeah, so it was missing because this one is what I added. Ouch. So here assert is defined as being a assert, which means that this one must be defined, and it wasn't. Ouch. Really. Oh, what an incredible bug in my macro management. Let's add a comment here as well. Meaning very strange. So now this compiled. And debug only is defined. Sorry, if this is defined, so this code is being used, then debug only is defined, because debug only is defined if the CW underscore debug is defined, which is defined if that is defined. So if you get here, then that is defined, so CW underscore debug is defined, therefore debug only is defined. So we know what the label is. However, it is also defined if this is not defined, but ndebug is not defined. Because then assert works, therefore this works, therefore we have a label, but we don't use label. So that would give a warning or an error for, well, an unused something, which is not good. I would need a debug only that is that, and I think I actually have it, or I should have it, or I had it, and it's literally called CW debug only. Ta-da! Also a color. This was using the wrong one. Yep. Okay, that's better. What about a label here? That should still be commented out. Is unused. That's better. I now have the feeling that everything works out. And that one is simply. Why do we end up here? Oh, that is yeah, there it is. Yeah, it just exists. Arg. Probably should have put a label in the end, and I can use this one. Remove the whole argument. But it's in line now. That's good enough. So I'm going to commit that down. Finally, add git commit. Yeah, what it's doing. So you fix a bug. Call init thread if and only if a standard JThread was just started. Git status. div, and that belongs to it actually. Publish it. Okay, and yeah, okay. What is my div? Yeah, debug output and more debug output and comment stuff out. Looks fine to me. I have only one running now. Only one running. Good. Yeah, you're not gonna find a lambda with fine symbol. Or is it? No, it's not. It's using RG. I wonder if you can see how much I used. Set AI, but it's not easy to link to it from here. Not at all. Agent maybe? No. Set code API. All kinds of stuff, but not what I was looking for. Manage API key. Weekly quota 95% used. But only halfway the 5-hour quota. Yeah, you cannot not only use 100 million. I need a billion or something. And it used to be a billion, but it just, you know, click, click. You paid it. You paid anyway. Click, 10 times less. No, no, no. Well, I unsubscribed, but well. This resets at 2 August or something. They'll probably will have a day without, at the very least. It's done. Want me to implement that change? Maybe it's not done. Actually, I didn't. I just wanted to find it. Confirmed the mechanism end to end. Let me verify. Recover rebuilds the cached state. So the proposed fix preserves corruption recovery. Then I'll write up the diagnosis. It's a textbook order n squared, and the incremental cache to fix it already exists. The slow spot is session append target append in blah blah blah. Every single append does 2 full passes over the entire growing history. Replace and parse the whole file. History that reproject the whole history. A Google Blitz. Okay, good night. Thank you. Well, I should go to bed as well. Quick, soon. As soon as this works. And I watch another movie, I guess. But soon. Assistant output append state. Well, it's blah 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 blah. I found it. So each append owned is order n in the current entry count. And your loop appends to entries plus 190 iterations, and then we get to n squared. That is exactly the larger and larger intervals between calls. Blah, blah, blah. I think it's correct. Yes. The work is redundant. The class already maintains the current state incrementally in the member assistant output state. It's computed once at the target creation. It's over my head. I don't know. What is current state here? Why would I need current state? Is it bad at explaining stuff, or am I just stupid? It's computed once at target creation. Create persistence and create ephemeral. Each do the load plus from validated history exactly once and add the result to the constructor. It's updated incrementally on every successful append. Next state is that. Next blah blah blah. Rebuild only when needed. After a torn partial write, recovery required is latched and recovered blah blah blah. So append recomputes from scratch something it already has cached and keeps current. The cached member is written on every append, but never read from the pre-flight, and that's the bug. While using the cache is safe. The per path serialization lock, append mutex for path, guarantees only one writer touches this session file at a time. Each runtime session owns its own session append target, and all appends are serialized through session run control. So nothing mutates the file behind the target's back. After any partial unknown write, the recovery required blocks further appends and forces recover to rebuild the cache from disk. So dropping the per append reload does not weaken the torn tail safety net. Fix. Pin to pin patch. Start from the cache memory instead of reloading. Place lines. And drop the it takes each append from ON to order 1 plus a generally necessary single line. And you test okay, it's gonna be super fast. Well, apart from rerunning the test, that I didn't want it. Okay, GLM, put your code where your mouth is. Why can this thing be so stupid sometimes? And then if you see something like this, it's like a professional coder that analyzed the bug and found out and suggest a fix. And then of course I'm assuming that this is actually working, and I am too lazy to verify it, but it sounds alright. And we have a good test suite, so yeah. If it compiles and it runs and the test suite works, and yeah, it's probably okay. It would take me 2 days to actually test it. Actually review this, the whole code, rewrite the code, so I know for sure that it is correct. It's too much work. So this is going to fail, the test is going to fail again because it can't write debug output. So might as well stop it right here, but okay. I'll let it compile it. Just start compiling myself. Let's look at the diff actually. Just saw that you have still debug output there. And the fix, and the debug output now should be super fast, I suppose. Okay, finish it. I finished. Okay. 1.49 seconds. That's what I'm talking about. Some serious speed ups. Ja, stop. Stoppen. Okay, compile. Ah, yes. Did I see a failure? And another failure. And another failure. Ouch. Oh, this fails because I have a very large value in my environment. I probably should override then, actually. Because why would the test fail just because of my environment, right? Yeah, too much work for now. So I'll set it back to the default. Starting to become a big project, man. 990 targets. Shit. Something else, sorry. So I have 2 failing tests now. One failing test. Thought I saw more weird stuff here. Oh, this is just literally weird stuff. Just this test. Persistent target reload v4 state under blah blah blah. That might have to do with what we just did, I'm afraid. What the hell is first? Pen pitch. Void result. Still, same thing. Also a pen bitch. What is entries? Entries is the result or store load. Why do I not have syntax log anymore? Oh, that doesn't work anymore. You have to fix it. The out entries is entry stored load. Session store. This is a result of a vector of session entry. Do I have to print the error because it's a mod? Or is it? I don't know. I think it is. Damn it. Standard expected. Okay, so if it is true, and that is the same for the Boolean operator, operator bool, then you can dereference it to get the value. Otherwise, you have to call error. Yeah, so false is print error. Oops. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm here, Control T. So many control things. And then again, Control T. No. Undo, redo. Not print error. Else, if entry size unequal 3, print the size, I guess. Size. The size is the size. And then print entries as well. Void. Still is void. Oh yeah, well, okay, never mind. It's either an error or it's nothing. The same for the physical duplicate. It's also the append badge. They're all void results. I think, yeah, void results. So if it is true, then we simply have no error, while we should have had an error. And then which thing was failing? Failed this one. Do the -r thing. We have that somewhere here. Okay. Now I don't know where the debug output went, so let's first remove that. Debug output. Still is no error. Sorry, Rocket. How is GLM 5.2 treating you? Been thinking about switching from Opus 5 Fable 5. I think it's great. Yeah. Great, but it's just hard to get affordable accounts these days. And your weekly, monthly limit is exhausted. That's what I mean. Switch to another provider. Oh, now this. It is like the last day we can use the humans, because they pulled the rug under what they promised they would never do, and this account is going to be closed. interesting thing. Warning, something with thread. While building. Yeah, maybe. Well, great. Oh, that's a lot of bumps. True. Yeah, overloaded my queen. I don't want to move forward. Or can I? No, I cannot. Just go back. One, two, three. On only 1, 2. I could put a rook here, but I can still push. And this is still pinned actually. So take, and he has the center. He's not taking my knight. But yeah, I can't do anything with that. Push, I take, he takes, I take, I lose a pawn. Do this, take, push, take. Maybe I can win that one back. Pushes immediately. Yeah, I can't take here. Cannot. That's attack twice. There we go here. I don't have squares, so I can go there. That's in front of my bishop. Just gonna go here. See what happens. We go here, push, take, and I have to go here, and then he takes here, and then I just take there. And if he takes here, I take back with the knight. Should work. Not pushing immediately. Let's make some space for my bishop and knight. Oh mooi. No time left. Well, I feel tempted to. What is a few 5-second stuff here? Yeah. Git status. Not that I understand it, but it's all okay. The whole thing is written by AI anyway. "15 seconds." That's how I know libcwd. It doesn't matter that you write gigabyte of debug output. Just no time. Okay, but you can speed it up by optimizing it, still having debug code, but better test. How much is a new PC with 128 cores? The very least. Desktop AI. Interesting. Now, if only you could run GLM 5.2 on this, I would instantly buy it, I think. Still a lot of money, but 5,000 euros is doable compared to the actual 100,000 that you're looking at. If you want to run the enterprise version. I think it mistook my 128 cores for gigabytes. Hmm. 128 core monster ARM, unfortunately. China's new 128 core server. Two years ago, AMD's 128 core monster. 256 threads. That's more up. It's more like it, isn't it? $15 it was. What, 6 seconds? More than 2 times as fast. Okay. Yeah, I can't push this because I still have something that is not finished. What exactly was that? Oh, that. How bad is your test suit when you can get away with this many fix-me's? I'm gonna stop streaming, yeah. I fixed the bug a long time ago that I was streaming.